did this program. He told Dr. King about the program. Dr. King.
Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to another edition of the Errol Jones Show. Tonight being reprised or renamed, rebranded as Talking Back Black. Talking Back Black. Tonight is devoted to a rant. Just a good old fashioned, let me tell you what's on my mind rant. Every now and then people need to have it. It's good for you. It's therapeutic, and hopefully, it can be a benefit to somebody who's listening. My name is Errol Jones. I am the founder and the president of the National Black Business Alliance, which is the founding organization of National City, the new Black City. It is the place where Black people are more than welcome and a primary concern for the people in the leadership in the city. The Black agenda is the primary agenda in National City. Does that mean that we hate, disrespect, or want to denigrate other groups? Absolutely not, because we are Black, because we are reasonable, because we are fair, because we are intelligent, because we are a whole bunch of things that say that there's no need for us to try to walk over our fellow brothers and sisters. But if necessary, red, white, yellow, black, brown, green, pink, or aqua. If necessary, then whomever it is that is trying to protect their environment, protect themselves, protect their families, protect their communities, then you might have to put your foot down or in, whichever is most appropriate, the mix. You do hear in the background a television show, and I probably need to turn it up a little bit, but I will when it gets to something relevant, because the format for the show is going to be, or is, I'm going to talk back black. What do I mean? Issues that might pop up, I'm going to respond to them in a way that is not necessarily politically correct, not necessarily racial neutral, not necessarily anti-black, anti-white, anti anything, or pro-black or pro anything. I just want to talk about things from the standpoint of what my opinion of what a black answer might be. Now, one of the problems that I face in doing this, one of the challenges I face in doing this is, what the hell is black? What the hell is black? I'm not really sure. Of course, I know it's a color, but obviously, I'm not just talking about a color in a crayon box. But what does black mean as far as the designation that has been used to label a certain group of people? I don't really have a problem with that. I'm proud of being black. Does that mean that I'm black and not a Nigerian? No, it means I'm black, and I don't know if I'm a Nigerian or not. You know the history of black people in America. Does it mean I'm black and I am not I know I'm not an Ethiopian? No, it doesn't mean that. I don't know. Those are all subcategories of Africa, or you could even say of black people in general. It's something to explore. So while we're on the show, we're going to talk about black issues, and we're going to respond to black people. One of the things that I'm most concerned about in this on this platform is being able to talk back to black people who are talking to black people. You hear in the background Roland Martin. I just heard him talk about a few things a few moments ago that I wish I had been on the air at that time so I could address it directly, and you can hear him talking about it himself. Let's turn it up now, because enough. And I'm not here to be nice about this. Let's just listen to his show. Let's enjoy the show together. Oh, so he's talking about the boycott.
I have not heard from any of the people who are yelling boycott Target.
Okay, Roland.
What's the end game?
Right. I said this before. You all that are listening, I said it in the very beginning. It's bound to fail. There's no end game. There's no centralized leadership. There's no process, no strategy. There's emotion, but that emotion has possibly put black businesses who worked hard to have their product listed placed in Target. That emotion may have hurt them at the cash register. Surely that wasn't the intent. And anyone that says that those people just have to bite the bullet and suffer for the whole, you sound like a damn fool. You suffer for the whole. Sound like a damn fool. You suffer for the whole. I told you, just talking back black. So when you say things like that and you disregard what these people have done and what the position that they're in so lightly, so frivolously, so all of a sudden you jump up and decide you want to boycott because you don't really know what to do. You don't know what the hell to do. Let me tell you, here's the problem. I have great respect for the people that are pushing for this because of their intention. They just don't know what they're doing on this point. This is not the civil rights movement back in the 60s where those kind of strategies will completely work on everything. They don't know what they're doing. Now let me throw this in. As much as I can respect the people that we're talking about, and I'll call them by name right now, because at the top of the list for me would be Roland Martin. He's on here talking now, but Roland has lost credibility with me because right now, see, I'm talking back black. Now he's talking about how much the boycott, you should have been more careful with it. But if I'm not mistaken, we go back and look at a few of his and I said this, emotion and strategy. I said that. Now he's saying it. But earlier on, look at a few of his earlier shows. Roland was not talking about that. He was pushing boycott. See, this that clown stuff. I have great respect for Roland, but this is clown stuff. And when and if we ever meet eye to eye, I'm not going to be nasty about it, but he will know that I already know and believe that some of the things he does is clownish. I mentioned Roland, I mentioned Al, I mentioned Jamal, all calling and pushing hard for a boycott and calling everyone else idiots and foolishness and stuff like that, when that's not the case.
Some Target stores have been placed in black communities where there are food deserts. See, I need us to be thinking. There are people who hit me earlier. They said, hey, there's some Target stores that are in rural areas. That's the only place in town.
And that's what I said in the beginning. I'm no genius.
So the question then becomes,
I'm not a genius. But I'm not a damn fool all the time either. What I'm saying to you people in Black America, the Black community government is here. There's a new sheriff in town. There's no one in your community, no one in your political offices, no one in your church structure, no one in your pulpits. There's no one that's giving you information like I'm bringing to the table for what we need to do in Black America today. Where are they? I'm not being shy about this, am I? Now, I'm going to break down what we're going to do with the Black community government, how it operates. Nationalcity.us. You need to go and register so you can keep abreast of what's going on. National City is the new Black city where we will operate and put things in place. See, these people that are on here talking to you about all these things, they're just telling you all these broad, great, big platitudes, giving great platitudes of what should be done and what's not being done and who should do. But none of them have stepped to the table with a specific plan. None of them knows what to do to tell you what to do. I'm not one of them. I can tell you what to do that will put food on your table by lunchtime. I can tell you what to do, Black people, to put money in your pocket by dinner. You're listening to people out there now who we love because they put the time and the energy in to earn our respect. But remember, you can't fake influence. They're the ones that drove you to Donald Trump's presidency. They are strategic losers on this point. They are losers on this point. They are losers on this point. Not in general, but they're losers on this point. What point? What do we need to do next? What you need to do next is pay more attention to what I'm telling you. Pay attention, because you're not going to find anyone else that's going to know more about this particular project, this particular dilemma we're in today at this moment. Pay attention, Black people, Negroes, ninjas, brothers, sisters, loved ones. Pay attention. There's too much at stake. While you're running around chasing your tail with Donald Trump chasing you, the losing leaders have led you down a path that put Donald Trump in office. And now they're still collecting money from you, putting it in the Democratic Party. I have no problem with the Democratic Party, except they can't lead me because they're a losing party. You have losing leadership. You don't know what to do. Your white leadership has betrayed you. They went over to the Democratic Party and voted for Donald Trump. The white women, Hispanic men who are considered white. They betrayed you, Black people in the Democratic Party, but you're running around talking about LGBTQ issues. You're running around trying to get your Black men and women to push gay and lesbian issues when you know in our community we're pretty conservative. But we're also liberal when it comes to certain things. If that's what people want to do, let them do it. But you got Black men out here, you want to push them on transgender issues? That's the party you want me to go and push? Are you crazy? Hell yeah, you're crazy. You got your damn mind. Got your damn mind. So your losing strategy is now being transformed into a losing second round of failed attempts at bringing change, positive change to the Black community. You keep failing. That's what I'm fighting against. I love Black people, us. I've spent my life, sacrificed my fortune, my time and my energy, supporting Black people everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. My name is not at the level of an Al Sharpton. My name is not at the level of a Roland Martin. My name is not at the level of Jamal Bryant or at the level of 95 other Black leaders in this community who you already know. That my name is not at the same level as any of them. My name is me. A name I call myself. Others call me Errol Jones. Take me lightly if you choose. But as the mayor for Black America, I challenge every other Black leader to take a look at the strategy that I put in front of you, called Black Community Development through Youth Entrepreneurship. Black Community Development through Youth Entrepreneurship. There's no better plan in America right now. I challenge every one of you. Every one of you. And anyone else you want to bring to the table. My name is Errol Jones. It will be the most talked about name during this summer, not because I am this, that, or the other. Not because of that, but the work I've done and the lack of profitability that I engaged in throughout my entire work in bringing this to the Black community. Those things speak volumes. So whoever else wants to step to the table, I'm trying out for point guard. Where are you? If you're not really stepping to the table, with all due respect, there's a new sheriff in town. Have a sustained boycott of Target. Let me finish listening to what he's saying. We could potentially cause Target to lose
500 million to almost $2 billion. And let me tell y'all something. If a company does $10 billion a year in revenue and they lose 1.8 billion,
they'll still roll on.
I can guarantee you there will be changes.
They'll be changed, but they'll still roll on.
Company trying to lose that. Now, here's what's crazy. The reason these companies are ending their DEI strategies because white conservatives have been threatening them with their economic boycotts.
See, here's the problem that they're having. They keep letting these white people give them phrases to run them all around in circles and to get an emotional black community following behind them. DEI, is that anything different than a whole bunch of other things that they talked about in the past? That they were talking about woke. Woke was supposed to be something terribly bad. You know, when I remember hearing about woke, I thought it meant dealing with black consciousness. Some kind of way they have it turned all around. The woke being meaning that black people wanting gay and homosexual and lesbian issues. That was the main thing behind being woke. So you got these black leaders running around chasing these terms because they're not strategists. They're really not. They're really not. And the reason why they're so successful is because you know even less about how to do it than they do. And I love you, my brothers and sisters. But the things I do well, I do very well. The things I do poorly, I do very poorly. And I do a number of poor things. How many engines have I blown up? That's why I have to have money. Let's finish listening to Roland. We'll talk back.
Those things are happening, and over the next week, we're going to be unpacking these things. But I wanted to walk people through this because I wanted our audience to understand that we cannot play lightly with this, because the fear that I have is what happened when Colin Kaepernick, when they called for it.
It's going to collapse.
Stop watching. It was loose. It wasn't organized.
It's going to collapse.
Because it was not organized. It was not strategic. Folk made individual actions, but there was no collective.
I am a graduate degree curriculum designer.
There have been economic boycotts that black people have led.
Completing my studies at the top 10% in the nation. I'm not bragging. I'm giving you my white credentials because you all may not pay attention to my black credentials, but my white credentials are strong.
From Fox News and from Tucker Carlson's television show. Very effective. I'm wearing this shirt here. Where's our money? The black folks in Cincinnati. People forget. They had some issues with police brutality there, and they led, and the city of Cincinnati was not responding appropriately. The black folks in Cincinnati launched an economic boycott saying, do not come to Cincinnati. Remember, NAACP had a
boycotts work.
In South Carolina,
they work.
Flag, rising.
But you have to be strategic about it. Now, our program is offering us a boycott as well, but it's very strategic, very pinpointed, very easily implemented by people all across the nation. Because I designed it like that. It's a design to it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it right now. I will tell you as we go. See, he's talking about not being so emotional.
I want us to do this here. Pull the black businesses up. If you say, I'm sorry, Roland, I am going to make the decision that I am not going to go into a Target, fine, but I need y'all to go to their websites.
Look, he's talking about all these people got their websites names up there.
They're actually increasing their profits because by buying direct, they don't have to share with Target.
All of that sounds real good right now. But as the lady came on earlier and she said if she pulls her products out of Target, where's she going to store them? She's got to transport them out of the store, transport them to another location, put it in a storage unit somewhere, pay for the storage unit, and wait for enough of us to go to the website and buy something from them. That's a failed business model. It's a failed business model. It's a failed business model.
She said, so here we ramped up our product, anticipating more business over the next 3-6 months, and then it dropped off like a cliff. Why is that important?
Because you have to know how to sustain your business. That's why.
Black folk, we love talking about Montgomery. We love talking about the
Okay,
Montgomery
Roland,
bus boycott.
say something makes sense.
I'm going to remind y'all the Montgomery bus boycott was supposed to be a one-day boycott that went another 381 days.
Okay, now,
Let me remind
what's your
you
point?
The Montgomery bus boycott only happened because 50,000 black people decided that they were not going to get on that damn bus.
So yes, it's a numbers game.
Cold, it was rainy, but they still chose not to do it.
It's not 1950s. This is not the 50s.
I'm laughing at y'all right now. Here's this little child, this little black MAGA girl, went to FAMU, right here, Sharice Lane. Yeah, I'm calling you out. Look at her. Y'all be back at Target by next month.
Absolutely.
Look at Pastor Darrell Scott.
Because you will be back. You will be back at Target. That's right. You will be back at Target because the leadership of this is poor. They don't know what they're doing. They are hopeful. Their heart is right, but they don't have the skill set or the vision to do what they're trying to do. That's why I'm doing it. Okay? That's why I'm doing it. What am I doing? Bringing black community development through youth entrepreneurship to a community where you live. You didn't hear me say boycott Target. You didn't hear me say go after Trump. You didn't hear me say anything related to fighting back to what white people are doing to us. You heard me talk about doing something for us and through us in a way that has a major impact. Now, if it impacts Trump, so be it. If it impacts Target, so be it. If it impacts Walmart, so be it. If it impacts a local community restaurant, so be it.
If you're looking for wine, Vieri wine. If you say, you know what, I want water, right there. Drink.
Now, see what he's doing now? That sounds good. It looks good.
Honey pot.
So to some of you who really think you know what you're looking at, but do you think a shout out from Roland Martin naming a business name once, twice, or even 10 times on a single show that probably no goddamn body's watching, do you think that's going to replace Target marketing? Do you really think that's going to replace it? Are you all writing these numbers down? Because that's what you need to do in order to find these people. Stop.
We cannot do that once or twice. We have to create a state of mind where we are sustaining.
Did you hear what he said? We have to create a state of mind. Okay. Who has to create it? Who has to create it?
Continue doing it. We love to talk about
how do you sustain it?
Very serious right now. We love talking about,
I know how. I'm an educator. DUC means lead. I'm an educator. I've been successful doing these things. I'm talking back black. I'm listening to Roland. It sounds good to somebody who doesn't know what they're listening to, but he doesn't really understand what he's talking about. Would somebody please send this tape to him so he'll understand clearly? Because he and I will have a conversation. I'm also reaching out to Boyce Watkins. We're going to ask Boyce Watkins to be our national economic advisor. I like what Boyce is doing. He knows about economics. He knows about stocks. He knows about those kinds of things. He'll be a good advisor. Roland knows journalism. We'll deal with Roland. We'll deal with Roland with journalism. And in fact, he's asking for $1 million a year. I'm going to put something in place where he will be able to attract $1 million. Yeah, we can get him that ourselves. Just my company, we can get him $100,000 a month.
All this stuff Trump doing, all this stuff the MAGA's doing, all this stuff they doing. Man,
that's why I can talk like I'm talking, because I know how to put that money in your pocket and food on your table, and I know you'll pay attention because you're not stupid people. I love my people. This was designed for you. It was designed for us. It was designed to bypass all those Negroes that's out there pontificating, standing up, telling you what you should do, but yet they're not putting no food on your table, not putting no money in your pocket, but they get money paid by a lot of white entities. But they tell you to bear the burden of the lack of resources, the lack of efficiency. You have to suffer the price, and you have to be called stupid and idiots for not voting for the same losing party who doesn't give a damn about you, black men. Let's listen to Roland again. No, you don't need a DEI program.
Because when you do the right thing, you do the right thing. And when you have people who understand how you operate, that's what you do. I'm just going to tell y'all this here. When we started this show, we had a handful of people. And when it came to our audio, we had 4 technicians, all of them white.
I'm proud of Roland. So I don't want
in DC how when crews are hired, how they receive African Americans. And it was like, we got to get some other folk in the pipeline to create opportunities. Steve, to his credit, when other Steve left, Steve took over. Steve said, I'm training some additional folk, including African Americans. I didn't tell him to do it, but he understood how we do it.
You know,
the need was.
You know,
it's called creating space, creating opportunity.
Roland, when you first hired people at your company, are you telling us you hired white people because you could not find black people? Is that really what you're saying? You couldn't find black people, so you're doing the same thing the white people did. Aren't you doing the same thing? You know, see, this is why I'm talking back black to the people that want to lead and guide you. He got money. He opened up his company, and I don't have any problem with that. He hired white people first. Still got them there. Nothing wrong with that.
Is the vice president for community affairs. That's what they were called in the 70s and 80s. And then it became chief diversity officer, then global diversity officer, then it morphed into DEI. That's what this thing is all about. And see, I am not interested in DEI programs returning where 75% of the people with DEI jobs are, frankly, white women. What I care about, are we going to lose supplier diversity programs, business diversity initiatives that create economic opportunities for Black-owned companies to be able to participate in this multi-trillion?
Now that's great what he said there.
So we're going.
That's going to help develop companies, not just jobs.
DEI, and we're angry with what Walmart has done, and Target, and Toyota, and Lowe's. What are we wanting to be done? Because there's going to be opportunity. And here's my last point before I go to my panel. You got to ask yourself this is, how did these companies over here, JP Morgan, Apple, Delta, American Airlines, United, Costco, how did these companies say we standing with DEI, but these didn't? I talked to a corporate leader today, and long-time Black corporate leader. He said, you know what? He said, Roland, it's the lawyers. It's the lawyers in the room. He said, here's the reality. Quotas have been illegal. See, the robbing Starbucks and these white conservatives. Oh, no. Goals, that's just another phrase for a quota. No, it's not. Every company sets goals. There's not a company in America that does not set goals. There's not a company in America that does not say the kind of growth they want to see in their company year over year. You know what they do? They set a percentage. It's the same thing. So we cannot allow these corporate lawyers to get skittish and scared and cause them to stand up.
Yeah, but how do we do it?
Board of directors to show some guts. Pull up Target's board of
We're
directors.
talking about what needs to happen. How do you make those things happen?
Target has rolled back their DI initiatives. It's because of
I
these
know.
people right here. These people right here.
He's showing 6
Brian Cornell, David Abney,
white
Douglas
people,
Baker,
5
George Barrett,
white males.
Gil Boudreaux, Edwards. Switch, is that it? Donald Krause, Christine Leahy, Monica Lozano, Grace Puma, Derica Rice, Dimitri Stockton. Is that it?
Looks like there's two blacks on there.
Management team.
Here's another 6.
Katie Boylan, Brett Craig, Kiara Fernandez, who I called today, hard as hell to reach her, couldn't reach her. Michael Fidelki, Rick Gomez, Christina Hennington. Is that it? Melissa Creamer, Jim Lee, Gretchen McCarthy, Lisa Rose, Jill Sando, Mark Shindale. Keep going.
Of all these top management people I see, I've seen only 2, maybe 3 blacks.
I showed you the board of directors and the management team. They're the ones who decided to roll back DEI.
Yeah, 2, maybe 3 blacks. But
they need to answer
okay.
How is it you, Target? How is it you, Walmart? How is it you, Toyota, Ford, Lowe's? How is it that y'all don't have the guts to stand up for inclusion, but other companies have? What's the difference? And if y'all want to get rid of the DEI program, but you still say we're committed, Target, to the $2 billion a year to black products, show me how. Folks, what we have to prepare for, and I've been warned, I've been screaming this for years. I've been saying this to civil rights leaders. Stop playing around. This thing is coming. I said in the aftermath of George Floyd's death, that this third Reconstruction needs to last at least 20 years. Do not pull your foot off of folks' neck. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, our civil rights organizations, they did because they got too many corporate checks.
Yeah.
And
they're compromised. They're compromised. That's why we have the new black city called the National City US, National City US. The priority there is black community development through youth entrepreneurship, black community development through youth entrepreneurship. We have 2 elements that operate through 2 channels by which we get our objectives accomplished. Number 1, the black community government, which has 2 components: the adults, senior citizen, senior adults, rather not old people. I'm talking about just adults. The second element of the black community government is the Youth Government Association, which reaches down into the schools, even to the point of having community campus-based school boards. The second arm of what we're doing in National City is called a Black Instructional School Zone. Everything black in that district we're concerned about. Our children should not be at the bottom of the ladder. It shouldn't be. Continue to tune into what I'm talking about. Make sure you register at www.nationalcity.us or www.thenextbigthinginblackamerica.com. Register at either one of those 2 places so you can receive information and become a part of National City. We promise you, our brand promise is that we can put food on your table in 24 hours or money in your bank in 24 hours. Why do I mention those things? Because isn't that what our community needs? Or do you need more of these losing black leaders running around in circles, boycotting everything, anything that crossed their mind, getting checks behind everyone else's back, telling you these scheming, conniving stories, lies on TV? People who we love. I love these people, but many of them and most of them are full of shit. They're full of bullshit. Many and most, because they're on that white dollar. They use poor middle-class blacks, the poverty, and that racial garbage that they play that may have some validity, but they play games with it. They're playing games on our mind. That's why I'm talking back black. I'm not going to sit on the side and watch these ninjas just talk stupid to me and or you and say nothing. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of the clown leaders that you are around every day, who you call them your leaders, yet they don't lead you anywhere. You just follow like a what do you call them? I'm gonna stay on here now because I want to hear this lady here. This is Eleanor Holmes. I think this is her.
Somebody had an idea. All too often, we've seen boycotts fail. We've seen them fail because the work didn't go into the foundation.
Now they're backtracking because they all see that the boycott's going to be failed. I told you that weeks ago.
And I would advise people to check it out, mainly because it does do those 6 points. And you really are talking about not engaging, I'm going to boycott, but really looking at why you're boycotting.
See,
The other thing right
suddenly now
I
people
think
want,
is interesting
now after you done
is that
climb the, not you climb to the roof of the building,
so you have
you threw the ladder up and start climbing the building, only to find that you're on top of the wrong building.
Drink Dasani water was the same thing. So we need to know more about corporate structures. And we're glad the sister put her stuff out there about her products and her brilliance in having multi-level platforms. But even with those, if we don't get the access that we need for contracts, for employment, for other things, we're going to be basically in a rough spot. And as you said, there are all these people who keep saying, they didn't think Trump was going to be that bad. Well, you found out, didn't you? And this is just what we want. And nobody.
You got Trump because your black leaders gave you Trump because they get paid. They get a chance to keep telling you how bad Trump is and let the black community continue sending them money because they're mostly filled with hope. Following losing leaders who, just like the sled dogs in Alaska on the Iditarod race, only the leader can see where he's going. Everybody else has their head in the ass of the dog in front of them. Right now, our black community has our heads in the ass of names of people who have in the past done significant things, but right now they're losers. They're losing. The boycott was a losing notion. The leadership is a losing leadership right now. They don't know what they're doing. They're moving with hope, and that's a good thing, but they're losing. Al doesn't know what to do. Jamal doesn't know what to do. Roland doesn't know what to do. I'll go down the damn list.
We're $1 trillion plus economy.
The Black Caucus doesn't know what to do.
We can be very strategic, and we can have people.
Jeffries doesn't know what to do. AOC doesn't know what to do. Oh, excuse me, she's not black. I'm talking about black people. They don't know what to do. Barack doesn't know what to do. Michelle is busy. She's from the old block. She's from old block. Before it was old block. But they don't know what to do. Am I bragging? If I'm bragging at all, I'm bragging on the Lord because I know what he's given me, where he's brought me, where he's taken me. And now is the time. It's not time to shrink back because I have no one I can turn to as a leader to say, hey, take this mantle and run with it, because they can't. They can't.
Is if you don't get connected, what you're going to end up with is a decimated community. They've done it before. Economic envy is a powerful thing, really. They don't want to see us succeed. They want to re-enslave us. So you get rid of.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I say that because I'm thinking about how the program we're bringing with National City just answers the problems that we're having right now. It's so powerful. It's a movement. Nationalcity.us. You better get on this. The next big thing in Black America. Share this with somebody.
Decimating the Department of Education essentially lowers wages implicitly. And that means it weakens communities implicitly. We will need to have to find out what we can do together, and we have to do it together. I'm so happy that you talked about the Montgomery boycott because it was organized. People met. They had a committee. It wasn't like somebody popped up and said, oh, we're going to boycott the bus. It was a lot more than that. And we really got to look at what else can we do.
Here's what we can do, you all.
The strength of our communities,
we're organizing the Black community government at the local grassroots level. Individuals that support us are, we don't even want to call them voters. I call them judges. I had some debate with some people that were judges because they have an opinion. The next level of leadership in our community, we're organizing our council members, individuals who are working with other groups or individuals in their communities for a specific project in the Black community. They're council members. We're calling on them to give opinions of the projects that they're working on and to oversee and monitor the monies that we're raising so we can bring more money to that specific project through that council member. Limited range for the council member, only a certain amount of people. The next level up are our state representatives, who then also have voting power over the things that the council members have deemed to be important enough to move up the ladder to the state representative level, who then will decide what they like and dislike about the project and allocate funds from a state pool of money that is given to those particular businesses. Next level, at the state level, We have senators. Our senators oversee and not control, monitor what's going on with the senators who are monitoring and working with those people at the local council member level who are working with community level people, the young people, their families, the businesses, the projects, the nonprofits. We're pulling together, organized, and that information flows up from the local desired interest that a person might have, flows up the ladder to a council member who can then move it on up in our community, move it up the ladder to our state representatives, move it up the ladder to our senators, who all have voting power to allocate money to the projects in our community. I'll be damned. Find another politician bringing you something like that. I already told you we can deliver this in 24 hours or less, and we can deliver money in your pocket in 24 hours or less. Find another politician ready to do that for you. I'm not trying to run for a damn thing. You can keep your Democratic nominations and all. I don't give a damn about none of that. None of it. I'm working for black people in the We Party, the Black Community Government. That's my brand. I didn't stutter, did I? I mean, listen to what this brother's saying here. This is Talking Back Black.
She'll have me do it, or she'll go to Walmart or Target herself, which means that with a lot of our consumers, social media is not going to do it. So you got to be able to be strategic about what we do, why we do it, and what the end game is, because
they're calling for this because
are not even legally required to be.
They don't have strategy sufficient to address the issue. They don't have an end game. They don't have leadership. They don't have funding. They don't have the basic things necessary to make this a sustainable movement.
Why are they saying this, right? Because you have the organizations, the Walmarts and the like, and those ownerships who are committed to Trump. But I'm thinking about like a Target, and I'm thinking they didn't even have to announce anything. Kind of going off Joe's point, right? Like they didn't even have to say anything at this particular point. So I don't even know if it's about a scare thing or if these organizations are emboldened to do what they didn't feel like to do what they wanted to do all along. Dr. King talked about people believe in Black liberation on an installment plan, talked about Reconstruction ending, talked about civil rights movement, where people say, like, we've given you enough rights and now we're stopping. You talked about coming out of
I know you guys, no, maybe not. I am. I'm so tired of hearing this rhetoric. I'm so tired of hearing the rehearsal of all this history and the philosophies and all of this. It has its place, but see, it's being stuck. In program design, there's 5 levels of program design. The first level is you do a needs assessment. You figure out what do we need. You then, once you determine what you need, you design a program to meet that need. Then once you design the program, you go into orientation, the third phase, let everybody know, all the stakeholders know what it is you're trying to accomplish. When you leave the orientation stage, you go to the one that's most likely not going to get done. It's usually not going to happen. It's the most fragile part of the 5 phases of program design. Implementation. It won't break down the needs assessment. It won't break down the program design. It won't break down the orientation. But when you get to implementation, that's when most programs break down. And then the last phase of it is assessment. What worked? What did not work? What are the priority issues? What did we do before? What did we start and then we stop? There's certain basic questions that you ask. This is basic program design. Yes, that thing that I finished school in the top 10% in the nation. Am I bragging? No. You know how cute girls don't brag? They don't get impressed when you call them cute. If a girl is fine, she knows she's fine. So when you walk up to her, think you got game and all you can call her is fine, she thinks you're a clown because she knows she's fine. You know? When you go to someone who's very smart and you tell them how smart they are, they look at you like, what you I already know that. The ideas that I'm bringing to the table, I know they're great ideas. I know how to get this stuff done. That's all I've done my whole life. I've won. High school, college, school district, union, the hood, Detroit, New York, Compton. I taught in Compton, volunteered to teach in Compton. I've won my whole life And now my focus is on Black America as the mayor for Black America, unelected but appointed. Focusing on what we can do to bring our Black community to a better situation. What we're going to do is engage in economic evangelism. We're going to preach Black community development through youth entrepreneurship all across the nation. You're going to see us on trains and buses and planes. You're going to see our t-shirts. You're going to see our hats. You're going to see our caps. You're going to see our hoodies. You can see our young people carrying notebooks and backpacks. You can see Black people stepping up to the table with pride. But it all starts with Black men rising.
They don't take the time to go in depth and to understand the strategy. They don't take the time to say, okay, how was this constructed? How was this done? How did they do it? Which gives you, frankly, the
share this
the blueprint to be
show with someone. And then continue to pay attention. National City, BlackAmerica.com, the next big thing in BlackAmerica.com. Register at either one of those sites, and also www.getjobs, getjobs.us. That stands for Get Enrolled Today. Join our business success system. Jobs is spelled with 2 S's. And you'll be able to self-identify what you want to program you want to participate in. Those of you that register with me, you'll also have access to the National Black Business Alliance. Everyone can't enter that website. You have access to that. You also will have access to a number of things. The Black Media Group. You have something that you want to get out, a word that you need to get out about your business, then we have a Black Media Group there in National City, which you have access to. You're going to be surprised how affordable it is. And let me tell you this too. We pay you. Come to National City and start earning a second income in your spare time. That's what Black people need. Find another leader that's going to bring that to you. I don't need to be a Black leader. I don't need that. I don't need that title. I have no interest in that. I just have to be who I am. And you know what I found? That as I am just being who I am my whole life, there have been people that have followed. My wife followed me to the altar. My children followed me. My birth children, my stepchildren, my neighbors, my children in my schools that I taught, administrators, teachers, my members at my church. Why? Because as ignorant as I might be, as foolish as I might be, as sinful and with shortcomings that I might be, just like everybody else there's something I know God put in me that I try to give back to other people. And so they tend to respond. I have no option if I want to have peace, but to give back to Black people. And that's what I do.
Gives us, again, something to learn from today.
Listen to Roland, listen to these other people. Forward this to someone. Make sure you join those places I told you on those websites. We're making a difference right now. And Black men, I need you to step to the table, because I need the Black men to come to the table, because we will provide the leadership first. The women will follow. They'll get on board. They're very talented. They're very capable. But let me help you out right now. I'm not going to spend my time chasing women down and then following the women leaders. I'm looking for the Black men to come to the table and step up and take our rightful place as leaders and elders in our community. That's where I'm coming from. That doesn't mean I don't dislike and don't have confidence in women. I'm not going to have that conversation with you right now. I'm talking about Black men rising.
These companies, and I want all of you who are listening to me to actually take the time, and I want you to go listen to that particular speech. I want you to listen to what he had to say. I want you to read the speech so you can actually hear when he
share this with someone.
Thing out, because